This Europa League Final and Premier League midweek picks edition of the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Edgeboost, the bank account built for bettors. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with the promo code SGPN. Get a $25 deposit bonus. Welcome, everybody, to the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Sunday, May the 18th, and we are here to have a sniff around the Premier League and the FA Cup games that took place this weekend. And then we've got a giant, glamorous European final where the whole of Europe, nay the world, will train its eyes on the San Mamés Stadium in Bilbao to watch European heavyweights, 17th versus 16th in the Premier League, take each other on in the Europa League Final. And there's two waste of time Premier League games as well. We'll try and pick some winners out of those. Joining me from his kitchen, by the looks, is Mr. Barry Penaluna. Bazza, what's happening?
Evening. Not a lot. I say I'm getting grief for being late yet again. I mean, what people have to realise is I have to, rearrange everything at the drop of a hat whenever you decide when this show is going to happen. So we normally do this on a Monday. That's pretty much been the standard for about the last 3 months. And then today, you just drop it. Gosh, can we get the show in tonight at 10 o'clock? So I'll do it. My commitment to the cause is unquestionable. So I'll drop everything else. But I was watching an episode of Mobland, so I had to.
So you've had 12 hours notice. So the things you have to do, you just start them 3 minutes sooner. That's all you have to do, Baz.
What are the plans on a Sunday? What do you think I'm doing? Just
the 3 minutes. You've got plans right up till the 3 minutes before 10 o'clock.
Yeah, exactly that.
Have you? Right. Well, that's what you said. Listen, I can't prove otherwise, Barry. Mate, it's not me, it's the people. Do you know what I mean? They've all got things to be getting on with. Lee Smith's got all sorts he could be getting on with.
You know what I've been doing today?
What?
Do you know what I've done today? What's the worst possible thing? It's probably. I think you would probably agree this is the worst thing anyone wants to do on a weekend.
Well, you know, my worst thing is lifting stuff up, moving stuff around. So, like a cleaning out the shed situation or what have you.
No, like that. This required me leaving the house.
Shopping.
Aye.
I
just wanted to go shopping, and Helen was having none of it. Normally, that would be like her job. She was like, "No."
What kind of food shopping?
No, they wanted to go into town and looking at clothes and makeup and stuff like that.
What the girls did. What's that got to do with you?
Someone had to take them.
Why? Get the bus.
Oh, Sophie, the youngest one won't go on her own. Chloe would have went, but the youngest wouldn't. So I took sympathy on them and said I would drive them into town and let them go shopping. But fuck me, I hate that sort of stuff. Like they just go into shops and I would literally just stand out at the right. In you go. I'll wait here. If you need money from me, come back to the door and I'll give you some money. But I wasn't going in the shops and standing watching anything like that. So it couldn't be bothered.
Shopping is a horrendous thing. One of the only good things about shopping is making eye contact with other men, other lost souls, just little lost lambs with slumped shoulders, body language, just staring off into the middle distance outside the changing room. I can't stand it, Barry. I do about an hour's shopping a year, generally on Christmas Eve, about 3 p.m. In a blind panic. Oh no, I don't think you. I haven't done anything today, but as I went to watch Bob's mates played in the cup final this morning, so I went to watch that. And then I've been on my arse just there since about 12 until now, till I've moved about a yard and a half into this chair to do this for you. So there you go. we've got only 3 games to handicap this week, so a little bit of breathing space. I was saying hello to everyone, wasn't I? Lee was first in. Callum, welcome along, Callum. I'm not very good at getting this slidey up and down bar sliding. Like Michael Chapman was in. Bob's here as well. Bob's bet was the Vardy goal to take his shirt off. But he scored and kept his shirt on. Bob, that would have been Hall of Fame. You could have been our first ever. That would have been the first ever Hall of Fame bet if that had gone in. John Colourface joined us. James Mafia, Connor Mack, well done for getting here. Who else? I think that's everyone so far. So if you are lurking in the chat, by all means, say hello. A reminder, the merch store is running a promo code, 20% off everything with the promo code DGENS. Been a bit of a nothing weekend, really. Football-wise, I went to Bob's presentation yesterday morning at Benfield. They do a very good job. It was a good day out. I stayed and had a few beers, went home about 2 o'clock. Watched the FA Cup final, enjoyed it. I think most neutrals enjoyed it. Didn't mind Palace winning at all. I watched Eurovision, Baz. You know I'm a big Eurovision guy. Og sent me some bets. He sent me too many bets. Like, he sent me about 12 bets, and I wasn't putting 12 bets on Eurovision. So I picked the wrong ones, basically. I put a couple on, and I picked the wrong ones, because he gave us a couple of winners, but I picked a couple of losers. And then went all the way through to watching the Preakness at midnight. And I obviously only mentioned that because I gave out the exacta again, Baz, don't you worry about me. 25 to 1 second, chased home. Did you see the race? It was one of the most astonishing finishes. There's an even money favourite, Baz. Comes off the turn and just gets crowded. Nearly goes over the rail. At one point, the favourite's sideways on, which allows a 25 to 1 shot to scamper off. And he's about 6 lengths clear with half a furlong to go. And suddenly, the even money fave comes like it's been shot out of a cannon and just chins it on the line. So it was even money beat 25 to 1 rather than 25 to 1. But anyway, exactly paid 30 to 1. And then I went to bed, Baz. Football-wise, I thought it was all just a bit predictable, wasn't it? I mean, we're going right the way through from Friday night, which was very predictable. Everyone in the world won. It might be a world record for the amount of people who won a moneyline double on Friday. It was just entirely predictable. FA Cup, we mentioned. And then really, there was only a couple of games of any consequence today. Frustrating afternoon for Newcastle. Chances early on, that's where we had to do our damage and failed. And then a good win for Forest that kept them alive. That was really the only other game worth mentioning. But we will do a little eye catchers bit. Was it Friday night? Did you not go and see Mean Girls, Baz?
I did, yeah. Basically, because it was preferable to sit and watch either Man United or Spurs.
That's
we
true.
all knew what was going to happen. Mean Girls was shite, but at least I didn't have to watch that rubbish on the telly instead.
Was it shite? Oh, do you not like it?
Yeah, it was all right, to be fair. I'll be honest, it was okay. Not my cup of tea in terms of story. But the kids enjoyed it and Helen enjoyed it. So that's all that matters, and it's not about me.
You're right, mate. You're absolutely... You're a shining example to us all, Barry. Family man of the year. Picks-wise, I was streaky again, Baz. Really streaky because
I can't believe
through the weekend.
I can't believe it's taken you 10 minutes and you haven't mentioned your highlight yet. 10 minutes in.
We're giving it the slow build-up, are we, Baz? Do you know what I mean? You know me. I don't like to blow my own trumpet, Baz. Halfway through the weekend, I thought I was going to hit fucking everything I'd given out. Like everything, even the stupid ones. So Friday night, it was impossible to lose. But then you do have to land on the right pick, which I did, because it was Villa on the handicap at even money. It was Chelsea to win and under 4 goals. Fucking what a bet. 11 to 8, that bad boy was. You can shake your head, Baz. You look, I've got a good record with those this year. Then Palace gave out, that was my underdog of the week, Palace. Double chance was the main play, but Palace was the underdog of the week. Then Everton Southampton under 3 cards. What a beautiful thing that was as well. I was really smelling myself at 2 o'clock this afternoon. I was considering, I'm not even going to tell you what I was considering. It's embarrassing. Because what happened after that was I didn't get another thing right. So I got everything correct up until 2 p.m. and then everything wrong. I just stopped winning. Brentford cost me because Brentford was my luck and would have got my corned beef pie. In hindsight, picking those teams where anyone can win, they just have a lovely game of football until someone wins. Because I thought Brentford were going to win and then Fulham won. And it didn't really matter. You should just pick the underdog. What else? Oh, yeah, that was it. But the headliner was, Baz, Esri Konsa at 33-1. What a pick, Barry. And to follow it up, I mean, Jamie Vardy, your goal scorer, someone in the world must have played our first goal scorer as doubles all season. Because if Vardy was about 6-1, Baz, that double today is about 225-1.
Yeah, I was thinking that the first scorer double would have been massive. And even the anytime scorer would have been over 20 to 1.
10-1 Konsa was anytime.
Yeah. So
I know people were laughing, saying it was just a bit of a wild stab in the dark. And you're absolutely right. It's 33-1 for a reason. But he had a header in the first half, and I thought that was his chance. And the fact was that Tottenham had no intention of defending set pieces. And sure enough, Esri popped up at 33-1. A nice highlight to follow up your stake in Stilton. It's 30-1.
2 weeks on a row.
Slightly smaller price yours was, but from the week before, so very good. Picks-wise, how did you fare? Oh, sorry, I just got to add on, Barry. Both teams to score, no, Wimbledon v Notts County. So I went 4 out of 5 on the on the playoff picks as well, just to round out that, because I did well there. How did you fare?
Mixed bag, really. Friday night was obviously all right because took the Villa handicap. I did take Chelsea handicap, which didn't hit, but obviously put up the double as well. And I liked Palace, but I ended up putting my main pick out to be goals in that game, so that was a bit of a letdown. I was let down today by goals in the Leicester game, the Everton game. I needed more goals in both of those, but I did hit the Forest game. I had both teams to score and over 2.5 in that one. And you're talking about your cards pick. What about mine? Never in doubt, was it? Over 4.5 cards in the Newcastle Arsenal game. 93rd minute, there's 1 yellow card. 99th minute, 7 yellow cards. That's wow. 6. I think it was 6. One of the 7 was Arteta by that, but yeah, 5 injury time yellow cards, including 2 right on the full time whistle. So we hit the cards with a little bit of fortune in the end. And as you say, Vardy goal hit for me. So yeah, a bit of a mixed bag. It's hard though. I mean, you said it's predictable, but it's still a lot of it is predictable. But still finding a value bet that's a reasonable price.
That cards pick, that's the sort of pick you do have to, like, you can't cash out. You rarely get in front early. I remember early in the year when, I don't know what game it was. I think it was Wrexham, when the kids scored a last-minute equaliser, then tried to get the ball out the net, and there was a massive brawl. I think it was both teams to get 2 cards, and there'd be none. And then 4 people got carded because he's trying to get the ball out the net in the 94th minute. But that's when things kick off. You're absolutely right, because one team's time wasted, or the other team's trying to grab the ball off them and just be arses and stuff like that. So it can easily go from 0 to full pelt pretty quickly. Like Callum's claiming he missed all the good picks because he fell asleep during the last show. So I'm not sure if that was actually intended as a slight on us. I think he was just telling us what's happened. But I've taken offence, Callum. So yeah, if you can stay awake, that would be great. You don't deserve the winning picks. So yeah, stuff's up for grabs next weekend still. Arsenal obviously confirmed their spot in the Champions League. But everyone else, you could throw a blanket over.
It's tight, isn't it? It's getting tight.
Yeah, tight in behind. Well, we'll get to that. We'll do some little eye catchers, go over a couple of the weekend games. I'll tell you first about Edge Boost, the first ever bank account built for bettors, ensuring all gambling transactions are approved. No usage fees, no minimums, cashback rewards, 100% approval for all betting deposits. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with a promo code SGPN. Deposit $25. Edge Boost match that deposit. Edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. And press the button, Barry. It's time for Underdog Pick'em. Underdog is going long for the NBA playoffs. with their extender bonus. Hop in game 1, and the longer the series goes, the bigger the bonus gets. The thing to do is sign up with our code, which is PLGP, to claim a special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code PLGP. Eye catchers, I think start with Crystal Palace, Baz. We gave them a chance, played them on the double chance, took them outright at 7-2. And yeah, I was pleased for them. Without being churlish, Baz, I'll say this quite quietly. Like, I didn't think their scenes, as the young people would say, and celebrations were as good as our scenes and celebrations. Did you think that?
I did think that at some point, but then who cares? Like, I was happy for them.
Felt bad saying it.
Yeah, it's not something I would have said.
Should I not? Right. Well, edit that out.
I'm embarrassed for you. It goes back to what you said ages ago about how we can now enjoy a team like that going and winning a trophy because we've won one. Whereas had we not won the Carabao Cup final, we probably wouldn't want to see a team like Palace winning trophies. But I was happy for them. Yeah, I thought they played well. Newcastle are no longer the most decorated club in Europe since March, whatever date it was now. So you can't use that line anymore.
But joint. I'll just put the word joint in the sentence.
I watched the game yesterday. I went round to Kieran's. You know Kieran. He's a Man City fan, or so he alleges to be.
Yeah,
he's not really a football fan. Like 90th minute, and it's 1-0, and there's 10 minutes of stoppage time. He just goes wandering around in the garden, like doing stuff and speaking to his missus. Like he was paying no attention to the injury time at all. And I was just like, what sort of football fan are you? He's just like, well, it just doesn't matter that much to me. But it was just bizarre to think if this was me and we were 1-0 down in a cup final, but we still had 10 minutes to go, I'd be right on the edge of my seat. He didn't give a damn. But yeah, good for Chelsea. For Palace, sorry. I thought the two contentious decisions, I thought they got wrong on both occasions, personally. I thought Henderson definitely should have been sent off, and I didn't think it was a penalty. So how they've managed to look at them both on VAR and come to a different conclusion, I don't know. And I think most people were of the same mind that both of them decisions were wrong. It wouldn't have surprised me if you'd come up with something different just to be controversial, but it sounds like
not really. I like the handball's a bit of a weird one. What made me laugh most about that was just the excuse they gave. Because they said the ball was going to a wide area. I was like, because he batted it out there. That's why it was going to a wide area. It wasn't until he slapped it.
The ball's just about to go past him. And the man that goes past him scores loads of goals. From everywhere. That's the thing. And if there's not a keeper in the goal, there's a really, really good chance that he'll score a goal there. So to say that wasn't a denial of a goal scoring opportunity is ridiculous. But never mind. It all worked out well in the end.
Bit of a weird game because like City just dominated the first 15 minutes. Not something I was really expecting. I thought Palace might come out and have a go. And there's it looked quite ominous. Then all of a sudden Palace make one break, Eze scores, and then it was the fine margins, everything kind of went Palace's way in that first half because you had that handball incident. You then get a penalty save. Why Marmoush is taking it instead of Haaland is another thing. I can't say Marmoush without wanting to say Marlene in the Boise voice from Only Fools and Horses. It's impossible. So I don't know why Marmoush is taking the penalty. And then in the second half, Man City just got messier and messier, and I never thought they were going to score. De Bruyne just got worse and worse. Seeing those links with like Liverpool and De Bruyne, just thought, I'm not sure. You bear in mind, Salah's been pap for the last 3 months. He appears to have suddenly got old. If they stick De Bruyne in there as well, I'm not sure about any of that. So no, I was happy with that. I did. I picked up a couple of quid on the Bet365 boost on Haaland and Eze. Have a shot on target in the first 15 minutes that cashed out. So that was the result. So happy for them, Baz. Oh, and I quite enjoyed seeing Pep rattled. I think everyone does. Because a little bit like old Jurgen Klopp, it's all shits and giggles when you're winning 4-0 every week. They're lovely, magnanimous gentlemen. They're all smiley and fucking hell, I'll shake your hand. Oh, you're a good player. You should come and play for us. And then the minute they get beat, they just turn into great big babies. And I enjoyed that a lot. But Newcastle, Arsenal, we've mentioned. I mean, with regard to Newcastle, I think it just goes to show how small our squad is. Because the team came out today, there's no Isak, it's Callum Wilson. We're already missing Joe Linton. In that, we've got a serviceable squad with 14 players. Like maybe not even 14, 12 or 13. And Wilson for Isaac is just a huge, huge drop-off. And then their keeper's made 5 saves in the first 15 minutes. And one of them had to go in. And it was almost inevitable. You just knew at half-time something was going to happen, and it did. So, yeah, a little bit frustrating for Newcastle. Didn't really change anything. We just got to go and beat Everton next week. It absolutely stinks of Jordan Pickford's 17 saves. The Pickford saves ladder next week is what we're going to be giving out. Well, I will, in an attempt to mush it. Arsenal, I still don't think are very good, but we'll see if they improve over the summer. And I ain't got much more for eye catchers, but as I said, there's nothing really to play for, especially with this year. You had 2 dead rubbers on Friday, and then you've got Manchester City who don't play in the league again until Tuesday. So really, there was a lot of just faffing about. Maybe Ipswich I wanted to mention, because they've absolutely just fallen off again. They were the ones who were supposed to make some noise. What's it like? The young coach, you've got to get them playing every week. Keep them if you're going to be learning and developing, and they're going to get promoted next season and come back a second time. How can you justify being this bad? Like, how can you justify going to Leicester and just not turning up? I just don't get it at all. Connor points out that Everton are still rubbish, which I will entirely co-sign. We're going to fill our boots on them to get relegated next year. But
yeah, I mean, the only thing I had a little bit about the Newcastle game, no arguments with the result. I thought, I mean, by Arteta's way of judging things, Newcastle were clearly the better team because the best player on the pitch was their keeper. That's how it works, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
So it was against PSG. But I think Newcastle, as you said, better team, certainly in the first half. Raya's kept them in it. Second half, we just came out a bit slow, let them have a bit too much. But we've gifted them a goal. And other than that, they haven't caused us that many problems, really. And then we come back into it again. But I just think, like you say, if Isak was there today, I think it could have been different because we had plenty of attacking opportunities. But Callum Wilson was just anonymous. It was as if he wasn't there. It was just like a wasted space. Asula showed a little bit more, but as you say, it's a massive drop off for those. But yeah, just not good enough. But it shows. I mean, nobody knew Isak was going to be missing, and as soon as he's missing, you've got the fear a little bit. Like
Scunthorpe United promoted back to the National League. Barry, thoughts on that?
Yeah, delighted about that. Absolutely delighted.
He is delighted. I can vouch for that. Anyone who doubts Barry's delight at Scunthorpe being promoted doesn't know Barry very well. He's doing backflips, aren't you, Bas?
Oh, aye.
What?
I said yes. I'm just a gamer.
Yes. He said yes, everybody. Right, okay. There are 3 games to pick from this week. 2 Premier League and that glittering European final, which has got everyone on the edge of their seat. We'll get into that. These ad reads are massive. If you want to go and put the hoover around everyone. Rhythm is your home for AI-backed. I shouldn't say that. These people pay money, don't they? Rhythm is your home for AI-backed picks and props. Dominate the NBA playoffs, PGA, MLB, and just launched the WNBA. Rhythm knows you'll love it, which is why they include a 7-day free trial. Some really good deals going on at the minute on Rhythm. 25% off a monthly subscription. Promo code SGPN25. 50% off an annual subscription. Promo code SGPN50. That's RITHMN. Promo code SGPN25 or SGPN50. Get your 7-day free trial. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. The Circa Ultimate Fantasy Football giveaway. Circa Resort and Casino in Vegas. giving away the ultimate fantasy football experience for a 12-person league to draft in Vegas, be treated like VIPs for the day. You get a 2-night stay at Circa Resort for your entire 12-person league. You can hold your draft at the Cabana at Stadium Swim with a $5,000 food and bevy credit, limo transportation, legacy club party, 500 booze credit in the Sportsbook, 2-hour open bar at the Overhang Bar. Unbelievable prizes. Sportsgamblingpodcast.com/circa. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CIRCA. And finally, we're brought to you by mybookie.ag, your place to bet on every sport, including the NBA playoffs. For the true DGens, the MyBookie money bag is live. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations. Crypto payouts as well. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. T's and C's apply. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. Right then, Baz. Would you like to start with the Premier League, or would you like to start with the glittering European showpiece final?
I want to start with the fact you got the my bookie code wrong. It's now PLGP.
Oh, is it?
We've got our own code. I put it on the screen, and you just ignored it. So there we go.
Well, right, Baz. Where do you think I'm reading those ad reads from?
I'm just.
You think I've consigned them to memory, or do you think I'm reading them off a different screen?
You've seen that image before, though. You should know.
I haven't.
You should know better. You should know better.
I shouldn't know better.
Hold your hands up and accept you got the ad reads wrong. So John Collins is giving you all the praise again.
I've never seen that graphic before.
You've got to allow for the fact, John, that he got the code wrong. Like, it's a 9 out of 10 today. We can't give him more than that. Let's go Europa League.
Ridiculous, that. I can't remember the last time I was this angry, Barry. Answer the question.
Europa League, I've already answered it.
Well, I couldn't. You've fucking hidden your answer in amongst all your bluster, haven't you? Dog shit. Right then, Europa League. So I've got to click on soccer competitions. Doing this live, everyone. UEFA competitions. Europa League. Here we go. 8 p.m. on Wednesday evening in Bilbao. We have, this is fucking horrible, isn't it? Tottenham Hotspur taking on Manchester United, where Tottenham are 17-10 favourites. No, they're not. They're 17-10 underdogs to win in 90 minutes. The draw is 12-5 plus 240. Manchester United are 6-4 plus 150. To lift the trophy, even money Tottenham and 4-5 Manchester United. It's just really awkward to handicap. There's no desirable scenario for anybody, anyone with any sense, anyone who feels anything about football. There's no acceptable scenario in this. I think for most sane people, Tottenham winning is the most acceptable of the two scenarios. I threw the European form out, Baz, and just handicap this like I would handicap any other bottom half of the Premier League clash. Hope Spurs win and hope we cash some tickets. I was happy to rule out that European form. It's irrelevant. The recent form from both teams is also irrelevant because they haven't been trying, or they've been trying and they're shit. So whichever way around you put it, whichever way you looked at this game, you couldn't make a sensible or a shrewd pick on it, in my opinion. And I've got an example of that actually coming up. There's two cases here. If you wanted to bet Man United, just in time, the Bacchus family are here. It's like Beetlejuice. I mentioned the word Man United, and the Bacchus family have turned up. Courtney/Patrick, tell us all about the graduation when you get a chance. Did you cry, etc.? I want to know about that. If you want to bet Man United, your case is that they've got a couple of good players who recently have lifted them to victory. Bruno Fernandes is a good player. Ahmad is back and a good player. Harry Maguire, who's been doing bits and bobs, he gets all their goals. Harry Maguire. And the second thing you have to factor in and this is absolutely a legitimate thing to factor in, is that they're lucky as fuck. They're absolutely lucky as fuck. What percentage you allocate to that metric, I don't know, but you have to factor in. It would be careless not to factor that in. If you wanted to make a case for Spurs, I think the main case is that head-to-head, they've beaten Manchester United 3 times already this year. They beat them 1-0 at Tottenham. They beat them 3-0 at Old Trafford. And then they beat them 4-3 in a weird League Cup game where I think Tottenham were 4-1 up at one point, or 4-0. It was a bit lopsided because Man U got the goals back late. Recent form makes having an opinion on goals impossible. And this is my point about no one knowing what to do. The books agree on this goals thing because the over 2.5 is 9 to 10, over and under. The bookies don't know. They're just, they said, right, we'll make it heads or tails. You take your pick. They haven't got a bead on it either. So I don't know what chance we're meant to have if the bookies can't work it out. So I'll spread a couple of units on some bigger things, Baz, because honestly, I fucking couldn't sit here in good faith and say, this is why I think this team are going to win. I'm going to go with the turnarounds, Baz. Now, I love the turnarounds. You know this. I've loved the turnarounds for a long time. And by turnarounds, I mean the one team winning at half-time and the other team winning at full-time. And it's quite remarkable that I don't play them more often on this show because it's been one of my favourite bets since I was about 10. So both ways here, Tottenham half-time, Man United full-time is 25 to 1. Just on the grounds that anything can happen, like none of this would surprise you. And then Manchester United half-time and Tottenham full-time is 28 to 1. So slightly bigger that way around. And I'm going to give a goal scorer out because I'm an expert at picking centre-backs to score goals at big prices, Baz. Harry Maguire, 28 to 1. Why not? He's better than Rasmus Højlund. They might even stick him up top. That's one of their things. They like doing that as well. So any time for Maguire is around about 8 to 1 and 28 to 1 first and last. So yeah, that I'll take £20 and I'll shove it around some of them, Baz. But I'd like you to see if you've got a confident case for anything sensible, Baz.
I mean, I've got 2 sensible picks, but whether I'm confident is another matter. I don't mind the turnaround angle. I think you're right. It could be chaos. It could be carnage. So the turnarounds is a good shout like that. I mean, Maguire, they should just play Maguire up front because Højlund's absolute dog shit. He's absolute waste of space. I mean, I say the same as you. We throw the form book out the window because none of it matters. Certainly the domestic form doesn't matter because both of them have been a shambles ever since they got a slightest whiff of getting to this final. They've just give up. Both teams 1 win in the last 11 games domestically. So that's around about the time they got to like quarterfinals. At that point, they just forgot about everything else. I mean, you all guess. If you pick a side, you're guessing it to an extent because you've no idea which version of either side turns up. I mean, you've got to give Man U some credit. They've got through this competition unbeaten. I'm not quite sure how, but they have. And they haven't been short of goals in this either. Night and day from what we've seen in the league. They've scored 18 goals in the last 5 games in this competition. The thing that concerns me about Spurs is their approach in the recent weeks to just bench everyone, just don't start anyone. Like they've left loads of players out for the last couple of games where Man United have kept all of theirs active, and I do feel that might help Man United here. Vicario, Romero and Van de Ven haven't played at all for 2 games. So they haven't played at all since the last Europa game. Brennan Johnson, Richarlison have played 4 minutes in the last 2 games. Solanke's played 17 minutes. They're all just coming in cold. And I think it's a big gamble from Postecoglou to have them all coming in without any sort of game practice or anything like. I mean, the 2 poor sides, but my overriding feeling is Man United aren't as bad as Spurs. You've mentioned players like Fernandes and Ahmad. They've got some who could make the difference. And I think on the money line, Man United's the team I'd want to be on. Man United 6-4, I don't mind. I also like Man United to lift the trophy at 4-5 if you want to go safer. So I put that out there because I felt like we should, for a cup final, say who we think's going to win, Malcolm. So I'm a bit disappointed you haven't done that. But gun to my head, it would be Man United to lift the trophy. I'm not going to back it though, obviously, because that's no fun for anybody. But I do like the goals. Over 2.5. I've seen 10 to 11. Man United's form recently in this competition suggests that's a good price. Spurs all season haven't been able to keep anybody out. And I think, the Spurs form of it doesn't look great because they have been lower scoring in this, but Man United have went over 2.5 in their last 5 and over 4 goals, or over 3.5 goals, in 4 of the last 5. So plenty of goals there. And that head-to-head you mentioned in the Cup, when they did come up against each other in the Cup, 4-3. And we do know, I think the books have probably priced it where they have because it is a Cup game and it might be more cagey because there's a massive amount riding on this for both of these teams, yeah. But over 2.5 at 10 to 11 I like. And I love the over 3.5, 5 to 2. Just seems a really, really big price for a game where we could have a little bit of carnage. So, that fits in with your... If you're going to get your turnaround, you're going to need goals.
Yeah.
So, yeah, over 2.5 at 10 to 11. And I like the over 3.5 at 5 to 2.
Fwef joined us. How are you doing? Tottenham to win the trophy. Man United over 2 cards is Fwef's bet builder. Michael Hurst has joined us live. Michael, nice to see you. And G makes quite a good point, actually, saying that Man United did play in Bilbao in this stadium in the semi-final. We're just a massive factor in, but was probably helpful a little bit. The journey, the hotel, just little 1 or 2% swung in their favour. So there you go. I think obviously the most ideal outcome in this is that the stadium at some point gets filled with concrete and wasps. But I don't know if you can get a bet on that, Baz. We'll have to have a look. We'll see. We'll see if someone can sort that out on our behalf.
I've said all along, Spurs winning is the most likely outcome, but it's fucking negligible at the moment because Postecoglou's got right on my tits in the last few weeks with just not trying to beat anyone. Because these are important games like Sevilla and Chelsea, and they've basically just been given a walkover. You won the Champions League, that's fine. Villa, here you go. You've got Man United and Spurs next 2 games. Let's see what you can do with that. Yes, Postecoglou more than Man United. I think Man United have tried. They haven't rested everyone. They're just rubbish. Spurs just haven't tried.
Michael's saying he had Sweden to win Eurovision. Sweden were the even money favourites. My source, Michael, you might not want to hear this. My source told me that Sweden didn't want to win because they couldn't afford it. They hosted 2 years ago. It was too expensive to host again. So they put a few quid towards buying off the juries from the other countries, so they didn't win. So unfortunately, you've done your money there with some brown envelope shenanigans in the backroom gay bars of Europe. Premier League football on Tuesday. We've got 2 games. Let's have a look. 8 o'clock. I'll tell you what we'll do, but do you remember what your Brighton-Liverpool pick was for Monday night? We'll give that out again here before we go.
Off the top of my head, no. I think I went for goals, didn't I? Let's have a quick look.
I would remind you because my pick's definitely going to win. It was the under on the shots.
Yeah, I went Liverpool team total. Liverpool scored 2 more at 4-5.
Fair enough on the Monday night, but it's definitely under 29.5 shots. So 8 o'clock on Tuesday, Crystal Palace take on Wolves. Palace are 6-4, plus 150, 9-4 the draw, plus 225, and Wolves 7-4, plus 175. Pat.
Yeah, so I did handicap this the other day, didn't I, for the last episode?
Yeah, you did.
So
how could you? I was going to say, how could you handicap this before the cup final?
Well,
is that a massive? That's pretty much my entire handicap of Palace here. My
handicap, when I'd run it before, said it's a hard one to handicap because we know they've got another game in between. Obviously, I've deleted.
That's why I left it.
I deleted everything. And to be fair, my handicap covered the 2 scenarios where they could lose or they could win. So, yeah, I did rewrite it because at the time I didn't know how the final would have gone. And I think you do have to factor that in. So it feels a bit different doing it after that game. So it makes sense. Not sure why I went the way I did. But anyway, I mean, it's hard to want Palace here, knowing that they're just being surely getting absolutely wasted last night, probably tonight, full on party mode. And then you're enough locked into 12th place as well now. Like, there's not much of a scenario that gets them into the top half. I don't think they can be caught by the team in behind them. So really, really hard to make a case for them. I was surprised the bookies haven't shortened them even more than they have. Both teams have been in really good form recently. Obviously, Wolves do come into this off the back of 2 defeats. But obviously coming into it fresher, because they haven't had the game at the weekend like Palace have. And if I had to take a side, I definitely favour the Wolves side of it, because there's just less uncertainty around them. You know they'll come in, you know they'll try. Will Palace have much interest in this? Losing it doesn't make a difference to them. They'll still be in full party mode. So I think Wolves is an underdog, certainly worth a punt, particularly if you check the lineups and Palace have rested a few, because it wouldn't surprise me if a few of them get the day off. I mean, Wolves didn't end up being my pick. I've gone for it to be low scoring, which is actually the same pick I made before the cup final anyway. 3 of the last 4 league games for both of these teams went under 2.5 goals. We just saw Palace sail to 1-0 yesterday. So I'm going to take the under 2.5 here at 4-5.
I kept it a little bit simpler, Baz. I mean, a little bit like Friday night, where everybody wanted that Chelsea and Villa double. Everyone immediately straight away just wants Wolves. The handicap really, it's just a fade on Crystal Palace, and as it happens, you could factor the form in. I'm saying I'm throwing the form out the window and betting and fading Palace. But Wolves' form was okay. They've had back-to-back defeats. But before that, they won 6 in a row as well, and Palace had only won 1 in 6. So if the cup final hadn't happened, I don't think it would be ruling Wolves out. It wouldn't just be a fancy Palace here. Yeah, I think you'd factor Wolves in anyway. So you have this cup final thing in, and it just makes you drawn even more to Wolves. I don't mind Wolves as a main handicap, but like I say, it's just a letdown spot for Palace. A good price. I mean, I saw them at 15-8 earlier on, plus 187. They're now into 7-4, plus 175. So they've been nipped in an eighth of a point. I don't know if you can find any 15-8 anyway. But I've just got to take Wolves, but I think we've got a wrong team favourite here. The other game on Tuesday is Manchester City taking on Bournemouth. Manchester City are 1-2, minus 200. 7-2, the draw, plus 350. And Bournemouth are 5-1. We, pretty much everyone again, actually, successfully faded Manchester City in the FA Cup. Could have been a different story. Like the narrative now, everyone, the socials, etc., and we know it's not real, is that Manchester City were rubbish. But it was very fine margins, because that first 15 minutes, they did kind of batter them. Haaland draws that save out of Henderson. Palace score really with that first meaningful attack. And then it's red card, penalty. And there could have been a lot of things went different in that first half. I agree, in the second half, they did get a little bit messy. But by then, the game scripts kind of flipped against them. So they've actually dropped to 6th in the league now after not playing this weekend. And Villa, Chelsea, etc., all gifted 3 points. Forest worked hard for 3 points. So Man City found themselves outside the Champions League spots. So it's not like a game they can just phone in. They're going to have to go and try and win this game. Bournemouth have slightly recovered their mojo after a bad stint. Their away record's very, very impressive, Barry. They've won 7, drawn 7. They've only lost 4. They've 18 Premier League games away from home, which is a good start. They won at Arsenal. They won at Newcastle. They drew at Chelsea. They drew at Aston Villa. So all across that top 6, they haven't been losing these games. I really like Bournemouth on the handicap, but it's short. It's 3-5. So if you want it as an acca piece with something else, by all means, stick it in an accumulator, but it's a bit short to give out as a main pick. it's counterintuitive because instinctively you think Man City and Bournemouth goals, it just kind of historically for the last few years sounds like goals. But 5 of Man City's last 7 league games have gone under 2.5. And then you can chuck the cup final in as well. So that's 6 of 8. And 4 of Bournemouth's last 5 have gone under 2.5 as well. So that's 10 out of 13 under 2.5, Baz, across the two. And it's a massive price considering those stats. It's 13-8 plus 162. Price just looks wrong. So that means I'll take it. Under 2.5 goals, Baz, please.
Yeah, I didn't like this one at all. As you say, Man City can't afford to have any switch off after the cup. Now sitting outside of the top 5. So a feeling to win here, I would definitely see them in a spot of bother with the weekend's games coming up. So another massively important game for them and one they just can't afford to lose. I think the thing that got me away from Bournemouth has just been very hit and miss in recent months. They've lost only 1 of their last 5. But you can spin it another way. They've only won 2 of their last 11 league games now, Bournemouth. They did beat Arsenal a few weeks ago, which will give them a bit more hope. That was probably a case of taking on Arsenal at the right time, I think, after the Champions League. City obviously had a bad one last week where they couldn't get past Southampton. But they are unbeaten in 8 league games in a row. They've kept 5 clean sheets in those 8. I think that sort of form helps your unders because City have been better defensively lately. And at home, they've just won 4 in a row. I like City to get a win here at home, and I think they'll be good enough. Bournemouth just aren't winning enough. In this latter part of the season, they aren't winning enough games. It's not a pick I'm particularly proud of, but I'm taking City on the handicap. It's the Asian handicap, -1. So I've got that insurance. If City win by 1, I'll get my money back. If they win by 2 or more, we'll cash a winner. But yeah, not a pick that I am particularly excited about. But yeah, I think City will do the job. It's just whether they can then get the extra goal and cash the handicap. But City -1 Asian handicap at 10-11.
These games are all really tricky. Like I say, the last month of the season, we'll probably get about 1 in 3 games where you feel like you've got a good bead on it. And then the other 2 and 3, you have to get really creative. And as always, you have to get a little bit lucky as well. Go into the stats market. We've been taking corners and cards and all sorts of stuff like that. That's it. 3 games just. 3 tricky games as well to try and pick some winners on. We've got the... I'm looking forward, Baz, to Sunday. We enjoyed the last day of the Premier League last season. We did. Do you want to do something similar to what we did last year? We gave out 1 sensible pick and 1 stupid pick on each game last year. Yeah. Although your stupid picks were sensible, which we need to address, Barry.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Well, I was throwing out like 85-1 shots, and yours were like 7-2, 4-1, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I think I done quite well out of them. I think I hit like 3 or 4 of them.
No one's here about that. Nothing. No one was here to listen to you give out a succession of 4-1 winners. What use is that to anyone? We want a load of 75-1 losers. Come on, concentrate. So we'll do all of that, and obviously we'll try and get up the goals ladder and all sorts of silliness on Sunday. But yeah, anything you want to tell the people about before we let them go, Baz?
No, nothing new.
Nothing new. No, same. Obviously I'm going to be hopefully watching the football in the home of a Premier League and England star on Wednesday. If the football's not on, Barry, it's going to be one of the sorriest tales of my life. I'll be very disappointed if that party I'm going to is just to avoid watching the football. I'm hoping it's a big hate watch. As Francis has joined us, and Francis and Bootle are both in for the last 1 minute of the show, which is probably the sensible time to join, boys. You'll have to go back to the top to listen to all the good stuff. Right, okay. Probably Thursday. Oh, well, I'm away on Wednesday. So, yeah, Thursday night, I reckon, Baz. And the Premier League games are all on Sunday. So we have a little bit of time as well before we have to get those shows out. Good luck with all your picks, everybody, this week. Good luck, Tottenham. And we will see you all down the road.